I had just finished up my morning coffee when Lucy, one of our youngest employees, came into my office looking visibly shaken. She told me about a confrontation she had with a client who was throwing a corporate event at our company's conference center. "Mr. Roflcopter Pilot, that woman just won't stop yelling," Lucy said, her voice trembling slightly. "She's been verbally abusing the staff and demanding more Wi-Fi access than what we agreed upon." I listened carefully as she recounted the details. The client was a high-powered executive from a rival company, one who seemed to think she could bend any rule she wanted. But that's when I discovered something that changed everything. Lucy handed me a copy of their rental contract, and right there in black and white were all the clauses they had violated, especially the ones about network usage and guest limits. I decided to handle this calmly at first. "Lucy, go back out there and let her know I'll be with her shortly," I said, keeping my voice steady. "We need to address this properly." She nodded and left, but as she walked out, I could hear the woman's raised voice echoing through the halls. "Finally, everything takes too damn long around here." Her words were laced with an unmistakable tone of entitlement. I gathered all the relevant documentation, contracts, internal policies, even fire code regulations. It was clear we had to take action, but first, I wanted to see if a conversation could resolve things amicably. "Good morning," I said calmly as I entered the conference room where she stood with her arms crossed, glaring at Lucy. "My name is Roflcopter Pilot, and I'm the CIO of company. You asked for the manager in charge." She froze mid-glare, clearly taken aback by my presence. "I have 3 things to tell you," I continued, walking toward her and handing over a business card. 1. You stated that you were promised Wi-Fi's and wanted to get what you pay for. However, our contract states we provide access only for devices needed for presentations. She shifted uncomfortably in her stance. 2. Your condescending, rude tone is bad enough, I continued, my voice firm but controlled. But verbally abusing employees, especially a minor like Lucy here, will not be tolerated around here. Her face contorted with anger and frustration. "Okay, I apologize. That was not very professional of me." I interrupted her before she could continue her protest. "That's a massive understatement and doesn't sound terribly sincere to me," I said, my tone unwavering. "And point 3, verbal assault and intimidation are against our house rules. Furthermore, you invited more than 100 people, which violates the maximum room capacity stated in your contract." She finally found her voice again, but hesitated, clearly realizing she had been caught red-handed. "Please gather your people and personal belongings," I said, my tone now authoritative. "You need to leave our premises immediately due to multiple breaches of contract and fire code violations." Her face turned beet red as realization dawned on her that she was in deep trouble. What they didn't realize was how thoroughly we had documented everything, I thought to myself, as security escorted them out, confused attendees trailing behind. A week later, a letter from their lawyer arrived, claiming unfair treatment and demanding a refund. Our legal team handled it with ease, presenting the evidence of contract violations in great detail. That was the last we heard from them, thankfully. And Lucy? She finally had the closure she needed, knowing justice had been served. Can you believe that? Sometimes all it takes is following the rules to the letter and standing up for what's right.